answer that.
Yeah, define it.
Okay, Ion says that we're not conscious of the autonomic nervous system, and there's three types of your automatic circulation of your blood and your nervous system. It's almost those three patterns we saw in the last Emerald Tablet. Remember, the cyclical was the blood, the out and back was the magnetic, and the third, the solid, was akasha. So those three processes in your body you're not aware of. So you're unconscious of them. And as Ion says, the source energy looks after you. The autonomic system is the source energy, is the metaphor for the source energy, or the non-physical getting things done for you. You don't have to think about it. The mind, Ion says, was only there to monitor the flow of the autonomic unconscious processes. It wasn't there to be involved with concepts. So the mind has a technical aspect of monitoring the autonomic flows to make sure that they're happening and still going. So when Ion says that in the 3-2-1 process, you state a desire or a wish or a fact, and then you let source energy look after it. That's stage 2. That's the autonomic system. So the autonomic system is a metaphor of non-physical. Okay, so that's the unconscious, and you don't have to be conscious of it, and it's not the subconscious. The subconscious is a cultural idea that I know something you don't know, or somebody knows something that you don't know, and you're unaware of what that person knows, so you're less than. And there is no real proof that anybody doesn't know something. They may not choose to attend to this. For example, you can play music, and I don't attend to learning how to play music. So am I guilty of having an unconscious, a subconscious of undeveloped music potential? Oh, no. I don't require the pleasure of making music. I enjoy other people doing it. So there's no unconscious there. If I state there isn't. So the subconscious is basically a creation by one institution or person or authority saying that you are less than because you're not aware of some process. And that was the original meaning of Rai. Rai was the first authoritative process that created awe, A-W-E, and did a performance of something that impressed the people in the group, and they felt, wow, we can't do that, and that person can, so we're less than. But that was a trick, because those that could do something that the local schmucks couldn't do didn't necessarily lead to a happiness position for the person who could do it. You know, it can lead to all kinds of problems when you have a talent. Matter of fact, when you have a talent, you have to end up teaching it or obsessively fetishizing it. So it's better not to have a talent. It's better to be open to anything that you'd like to experience and be cautious that someone's going to try to dupe you at some point so that you feel like you have a subconscious. So Ion is correct to say the subconscious is not this inky, dark, weird place that's ruling you. That is the unconscious. And the unconscious is invisible and doing some good stuff for you. The subconscious is an interloper, a fake unconscious, pretending that you're unaware of something you require. Not true.
What did you say about the mind controlling the autonomic system? Just controlling?
I insist the mind is for monitoring the autonomic system, the unconscious parts of your body. It probably would warn you of something if it goes off, but you can't have any ideas of it. But the mind seems to have a role of monitoring something that can't fail. So the mind doesn't even have a job there. But if there is a problem going to happen, the mind will tell you. And that's all it's there for. It's a security guard. It's a watchdog. Remember that sentence McLuhan used to say? The burglar puts out a juicy piece of meat to distract the watchdog of the mind. To distract the watchdog of the mind. And that's at best what the mind's for. And we got a lot of culture telling you that the mind is not developed and it's a subconscious and it needs to be improved. That's the ruse, that's the fake, that's the deception. That's the original creation of awe. Not important.
So what we think is awareness is only knowing?
It's not even knowing. Awareness takes care of itself. You don't have to be aware. You have to enjoy and be observant of nothing. Because you will be observant anyways. You will be aware anyways, because your autonomic system is making you aware, is doing the work of perception for you. So you enjoy the perception the autonomic system creates for you. And if someone says, do you know? You say, I don't have a subconscious. I don't need to know. See, if you start bringing knowing, that implies there's an area of not knowing. And then you started a subconscious process. So don't be fooled by knowing and not knowing, growing and knowing. That's a dialectic for the mind to set up and make you feel inadequate.
But we somehow have this need for exploration.
Well, we've been conditioned to use language and mortar, and if you don't worry about it, if you know it's not going to make a decision, you can play with it. I like thinking concepts. I think it's like playing with the false premise of time. We use the erroneous concepts of the mind to engage other people and exchange energies over. So I can look at me right now, and I'm making up this crap, and it's not a fake crap. It's I'm enjoying explaining something that occurs to me as I say it. So that's a pleasure. I don't mind talking. I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. And if someone does make a big deal out of it, I'll respond accordingly. Just look at how I play with Randy Moggins on my Facebook page. He comes in trying to make a point. He doesn't know there's no point here at Dobbstown. We do not emphasize the practical. We're here to engage everything. I engage TV shows, swimming, all kinds of stuff, and I don't even have to sleep. So I'm having a pretty good active enjoyment of this fallen condition. I love the fallen condition.
And yesterday I read there had been more sinkholes in Siberia. What do you think is happening to the visual space, or what's going on that there are so many sinkholes? Showing up.
Well, the sinkholes were part of our subconscious. They were things you weren't aware of. And so then they show up because they're disappearing. The whole visual space and its concomitant, complementary subconscious is being exposed as having no validity. So the sinkholes are just your subconscious giving up the ghost because Dobbstown is back in town, ready to instruct you on your unconsciousness.
Under ISO conditions, how do you explain then the tactile space or the new, or is there any type of space now?
No, there's no time and there's no space. But there is what you create. You create a space which will evoke contrast. It goes with the knowing of something. You have to know what it is not to know it. So you know what is not by something that is. So the tactility is a temporary experience. Temporary, very transitory.
Or is it just like kinesthetic space? Just movement?
No, kinesthetic. No, that would be your movement sense and your proprioception. Tactility is not a sense, so it's the interplay. The tactility is a good word for the unconscious, for the autonomic system. The autonomic system holds your body together. It does the processes that make you function that you don't have to be aware of. So that's tactility. It's not a sense. It's something that holds together consciousness, holds consciousness together. So tactility is another word for the autonomic system. That's never been said before. Another truism that we can ignore because we don't want to feel less than, because you didn't know it and I did. We don't want you to feel unknowing.
Yes, I don't care.
That's right. That's the right attitude. You don't care, but you're enjoying yourself. That's the important thing. And you can even not enjoy yourself. You ever tried that? Ever tried not enjoying yourself?
Yes.
Yes, you have. You certainly have. So, I am explaining the manipulant communication of our society, the trivial as the all-important archetype, but it does create wealth, and wealth is what we're enjoying, and wealth is not what you think it is, and ain't what it used to be. That's the secret. That's what you don't know. That's what your subconscious is where the wealth is. The present wealth of this moment is your subconscious. How's that? There's another truism.
Yes, I'm like speechless. Like,
Good. You've reached the exalted state of not knowing. A lot better than knowing. You want to have the not knowing.
but what would be then the point of being or existing?
If there was a point, the stars would gouge your eyes out. Luckily, there's no point, so your eyes are not going to be gouged out. If the universe had a point, it would gouge your eyes out. Fortunately, there's no point.
Okay.
Look at you trying to create a subconscious.
I'm thinking, what would whom say about that?
What would whom have to say?
Yes,
He'd have
Herbert.
a lot to say. He'd have a lot. He would make some interesting pattern. He would notice something. It's fun to notice.
Yes. So, where in this?
So start practicing. Rehearse your noticing. Exercise your noticing muscle.
The new environment showing up.
Unenvironment. That's right. There's nothing there. The unenvironment. Nothing is here to tell us what we didn't.
The real Nirvana.
Yes. Havana. From Nirvana to Havana, Cuba.
Well,
The inner Cuba.
okay.
Havana.